Okay, so I think we are ready to actually run the code for a first time and see what happens. It's always exciting when you launch something for the first time. Uh, and and it can't get to the database. Hey, that's awesome. That's a great problem. That means things are starting to work. Okay, we're going to jump over to DB PBI. This is our path to the database. So ClassBuilder's smart enough to know to throw in your project name into database project name. He adds SQLite. That's a possible. The biggies for SQLite as an extension are DB, DB3, or SQLite. So ClassBuilder is going to throw in that, and I personally called it DB. So we can prove that by coming over here and saying project, let's open this up, and we will go to the database folder that's local, and sure enough, parent-child DB. Now, I need to make a comment here also regarding Windows. If your development environment, I don't know if you've noticed, my development environment is on a D drive. It is not a C drive. If you are using your C drive and trying to use, say, program files or something for your application, you no longer have rights to modify program files. You have to grant your application pretty much God rights, administrator rights in order to do that. So, and Microsoft is doing that to get people out of the habit of putting their code there. They want you to put it over into My Documents, or actually lately it's really gone to the your home directory. That's a Linux phrase that Microsoft is slowly becoming more Linux. If you come down to, and this is where I always put mine because you're pretty much forced to by Microsoft. So if you go to users and Pete, and then you get to this massive list of junk that people have put in here on you. Um, I have oh, wait, we got to go even farther. We have to go to app data. There's all the dots, app data, roaming. It's like, how far down can you bury it? These are everybody's little home folders that they create. Calibri is in here, and I mean everything I've installed, Odyssey, Atom. This is where everybody puts their stuff. It's, in my opinion, it's hidden, and things that are hidden shouldn't be, as a rule. So we'll come down to where I always do it. We have a PA Labs in here, and then these are my product databases. So for this tutorial, that's kind of out of scope for messing around with all of this. We're keeping it in the project folder because I can. So if you're trying to do this at home on your C drive, you're probably going to have to move that database somewhere else. Wherever you move it, just make sure you can map there from here. Okay, so we fixed the database. Oh, there's one other thing I want to change real quick. I want this to become a global variable over here in the root, project root, and I'll just, for grins, throw that in here, and we can say global, and now we'll come down here and we can link in and populate that list icon box. So to do that, you're going to use the sprite sheet, TES. Okay, that gets us there. and we're going to call the load list icon function. And let's see, our variable or the list icon is gadget. Okay, and then window, FRM main, and then it's a list icon. So there he is. Now, what we want to do is a select first. SEL, whoops, I missed it, didn't I? ECT first list, and we can copy this down here. And oh crap, I did that a minute ago and I left it sitting there. All right, get rid of that. And there you go. We will run it again. And oops, it's all mad at us. And if you notice, we're in the sprite sheet form. And that makes all the sense in the world. Remember, we're running an application. You have to follow the thread of execution. So as this comes down, he runs this sprite sheet form code. And look where our definition of global is. Well, he hasn't gotten to that yet, so he doesn't know where the heck it is. So we have to move this back up here. So now he knows what this is before he gets here. So we run it again. And let's see. Come on. Come on. Boy, I love it when stuff works. Okay, so we have our main screen. We know our code ran because we have all of our column titles. And goodness, we almost guessed properly to get our widths correct to where we have only a slot here of 20. That's the width of the vertical slider bar. And but that's pretty darn good, isn't it? How many lines of code did we actually write? 3? Not bad. So next step is going to be, let's hook up those buttons to call functions that already are existent in the code. And after I get through hooking all this up and we can see how it works, then I'm going to go back and we're going to go do some deep dives into the new code that was generated, because the code is vastly different when you have a parent-child relationship. Okay, so now we want to hook the buttons up. And to refresh our memory, here's our main screen. So we have a button image, create, modify, and delete. And we have our sprite sheet. A standard, I guess, in Windows is, or just about any application, if you double click a row on a table, you should automatically call the modify button. So let's resurrect some of these guys here. And I will bring this across, and let's say you're going to be a sprite sheet, and we want a left double click on you. And before I finish that, let's go ahead and put the other guys in place. And this is button image create. And we want to have a left click on this guy. And now I'm going to copy him a couple times so we get our modify and delete. So we have our full, if you'll excuse the expression, it's CRUD, C-U-D, where the, well, CR for create. And that's create, update, and delete. Okay, so up here, we're going to, on the double click of the icon. Now, I'd like to use some of the editor stuff, and they have a template. And so what I'm going to do is copy in my post event. I can't remember this from when I write it every time. This is main and we come over here and your main, and you're gonna be click the modify button, and we want to perform not a change. What are we looking for? We're looking for a left click. So then now when they double click the sprite sheet row, that will automatically fire this guy. So on a create, there's really not a lot to do for a create. We don't care if they have anything selected because we're going to go create something new and add it at the bottom. So I believe, let's see, we want to call, let's go look. I don't want to try to pull it out and screw it up. So when we're over here, we have our methods, and we just want to call this guy here. That's all we need to do, and he's hooked up. All right, so we have this one done. Now, modify is different. Modify and delete are very similar. First thing we'll do is get the index of the selected item. So get gadget state of our sprite sheet list here. So we want to make sure he's greater than -1. So if index is greater than -1, so he can be 0 and above. Normally I would throw in a else, hey dude, select somebody to modify, but it's kind of, it's up to you whether you want to do that kind of stuff. So this is going to be sprite sheet, S-P-R-I-T-E-S-H-E-E, whoops, S-P-R-I-T-E-S-H-E-E-T, and we're going to do modify. Well, modify wants an ID. So we have the index. We can simply just say get gadget item data of our sprite sheet and at the index row. And now we have ID. Okay, so index, ID, X, and Y are standard variables for me to set up all the time on just about any form, anywhere. I set them up whether I use them or not. So delete's exactly the same, but instead of calling modify, we call delete, right? So we have now hooked up our entire front screen. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It should ought to work. Let's go see. With any luck, we will get a main screen and we'll be able to click create, and we get our secondary screen. There he is, ready for us to fill in. And I want to point out, he already has all this data loaded in. He's loaded the combo box for us. He's automatically selected the first record, and he's put our default into here. So when we attack the sprite sheet screen next, what we're going to want to do is fill out the rest of the population. We need to load this list box and then put some code behind the add and remove here. So let's go ahead and hit cancel. And also I want to point out, if you noticed, I hit cancel and he already knew that cancel is cancel, and he hit the close function and he got out. So ClassBuilder is already generating code that we're executing without even being really aware that we're executing it. I mean, in all honesty, how many lines of code have we written so far?